Welcome to Pack the Rock podcast. Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, William Stewart, and next to me, the Rook, Ian Plaskoff. And across from us, on one hand, we have Nick Rodecap in his Ben Shepherd jersey. I've also introduced him as Ben Shepherd in the past. And next to Nick is Mikey Shanahan.
Microphone short for Mike Shanahan is short for microphone Shanahan. Ava Wegenke is hacking Miami's film systems and is not here. So.
Yeah, she's tapped into the Pixelot servers right now, getting all Miami's practice films, so that way Indiana knows the scripted drive, but nothing after it. Because IU is cheating now, guys. Isn't that crazy?
Right. So we stole a member of the staff. Mike Shanahan is on hand at Pack the Rock. Ava Wegenke's working behind the scenes on stealing all of Miami's tape. And so we'll ask for some insight from Mike Shanahan throughout the pod today.
The first thing I do want to ask about is Mike has a poster there. Mike, what do you think of the poster?
Yep. He's a man of few words.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Doesn't want to give anything away. Could all be code words.
You know, I can't blame it. That's the SIG mantra. It's nothing but coach speak and or just not speak.
Indiana football's on full lockdown right now, and he's no exception.
I can't blame him. It's the mantra. Mantras that everyone's been talking about for the last 2 weeks that everyone's been picking up on. It's been a fun watch, obviously, for the fans as well. The now 15-0 Indiana Hoosiers obviously just beat Oregon, the number 5 team, 56-22 in the Peach Bowl. Mendoza was the offensive MVP. Pons was the defensive MVP. D'Angelo now has a pond, which is also something worth noting. If you're unaware, the retention pond that is on the north side of town, it's just due north side of town.
17th and College/Walnut up by the bypass.
Yeah. D'Angelo's pond.
That should be I think that should be permanent.
Yeah. It's just for a week, right?
It should be permanent. It's only for a week. I think that we could have D'Angelo's pond, and if he earns it through his play next season, inside the body of water that is named D'Angelo's pond, we could have Nick's Marsh.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, now we're thinking. He's got to earn it. But we could have D'Angelo's pond and Nick's Marsh here in Bloomington.
I think we need to find as many ways to immortalize this team of Indiana football in Bloomington however possible. D'Angelo's Pond is a great way. There were some others that I could have thought of. I mean,
I've got one.
We thought of like ways to think of Indiana football players' names on the drive to Atlanta in like fun ways.
Oh, goodness.
So that kind of plays into this. Like if Bloomington had a cliff, it would be the Dominique Rat Cliff. Things like that.
If Elijah Hardy didn't hit, it'd be Elijah Softy.
Yeah.
There's that one. There's actually a lot you can do with their last names. We had some fun on the way down there.
I miss Oregon fans bantering with IU fans on social media because Miami fans are just a bunch of sour grapes. They really are. Oregon fans are great. You know, it was like Kenyon Sadiq, Kenyon Happy, Dante Moore, Dante Less. Somebody hair swapped Fernando and Dante Moore.
That was something.
Dear Hill Jr., Dear Flat Jr.
That's funny. But Miami fans are a bunch of sour grapes, and I miss Oregon fans.
Yeah, Miami fans, can we have another Star Wars battle on Twitter? Because that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Oregon has taken to kind of being the neutral third party that's rallying all the troops. So you're going to have troops from Eugene and from Berkeley converging on Miami in an attempt to help secure the national championship for Indiana. But Miami fans are just not playing along.
Another Big Ten championship. A third Big Ten championship in 4 years, if you will. Or national championship. A third Big Ten champion winning a national championship.
There we
go. Trust me, I know how to speak. I'd like to think. Back to the Peach Bowl. We'll gloss over it. Obviously, we're not.
Did you go to the Peach Bowl? That's a really cool hat.
No, actually, I stole this from Ben Shepherd, actually.
See, I stole this sweatshirt, too.
From Rick Rodecap? Is that where that came from?
And apparently Mike Shanahan went to the Rose Bowl, too. So.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, Mike's got a real nice hat over there.
Likely place for somebody named Mike Shanahan to be in the year 2026.
In an important bowl game, specifically in the college football playoff, for the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers.
But yeah, the running joke here is that I look like Ben Shepherd. I look a little more like him when it's just the mustache.
I was going to say, you've got to shave it. It's very loose, but it's just our running bit.
I got a Ben Shepherd City Edition jersey, which I'm probably one of the only people in the world that owns one of these. And with the way the Pacers are playing this year, that's not entirely surprising. I miss Tyrese Halliburton.
Thankfully, we don't have to think about Tyrese Halliburton at the moment. We have to think about the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. And the one thing I want to ask you, too, at the moment is just some of the biggest keys from the Peach Bowl. What were they for Indiana to beat Oregon in the absolute shellacking that took place?
Well, the whole big thing was that it's tough to beat a good team twice. And it's true, but these teams were very different than what they were in October. Charlie Becker didn't play in game one. The defensive line looked different in game one. It was an Oregon home crowd in game one. Oregon's coordinators were not building their new teams in game one. You could go on and on and on. And everything favored Indiana in matchup 2 because the crowd was unbelievable, 95% Indiana. And
awesome.
When D'Angelo Pons picked off the first pass of the game, that was the loudest I've ever heard anything in my life. And it stayed like that for the whole game. But the defensive line looked great. Daniel Ndukwe looked like Von Miller or any other Hall of Fame edge rusher that you could think of.
JJ Watt.
Sure. Add him in there. Charlie Becker did Charlie Becker things. There's Henry Thuss.
And Andrew Hillsman.
He's
got,
hey.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're right behind me, aren't they?
They're gone now.
A lot of it, I don't know how much weight people put on it, but both Oregon coordinators not being fully invested in that game because they were building their new teams with the transfer portal, I think that had a major impact on that game.
Kind of like Brian Hartline play calling in the Big Ten Championship. If you think back, I know that was a month and a half ago and it's old news at this point, but it still kind of felt like Brian Hartline was calling plays with one foot out the door. And Dan Lanning and Kurt Cignetti have both been very adamant that the college football calendar is broken. And I do think that the staff continuity that Sig has preached and that he has had for so long with Shanahan and Brian Haynes paid dividends for Indiana because Shanahan and Haynes, their sole focus was on planning for Oregon. Not on building a new program at Cal or a new program at Kentucky, just focused on the task at hand, the next game. I think that was huge for Indiana. I also think that, the crowd was absolutely a massive factor because you saw just IU fans everywhere. I mean, driving to the stadium, the streets around Mercedes-Benz Stadium looked like Kirkwood, but crazier, like Kirkwood during Little Five weekend. It was that packed with IU fans. It was ridiculous. And after the first pass of the game, Oregon's second possession, they had to go to a silent count. How many times have you seen a team have to use a silent count in what is supposed to be a neutral site game? That was huge for Indiana. And it was going to be an uphill battle for Oregon because they had like 2 running backs. And you knew that Brian Haynes was going to cook something up. He had Dante Moore seeing ghosts again. But the defense was feeding off the energy the crowd gave them, and Fernando Mendoza was surgical. Indiana's rushing offense was much better in this game than they were in the first game, and it was a perfect storm for IU. It was incredible.
I do think with Dante Moore's seeing ghosts, that whole thing, I think it was just his inability to actually make a decision on almost half the plays. It felt like the first actual drive that they had, he knew where to go with the ball every play. The touchdown was perfect. It was a double move on a post that turned into a post route. I don't know what you want to call the route exactly. I've never actually known what it's called. I guess it's an out and up would be the way to call it. I don't know. He knew exactly when to throw that ball because he knew it would be wide open. Indiana, they went invert cover 2, so D'Angelo Pons had to drop into the deep half, and there was just no one in the actual middle of the field. It was throw it right over, I believe it was Isaiah Jones' head. That was the best throw Dante made really all day because he knew where he was going with the ball the entire first drive. He even did on the first play, but he was just so late to it for some odd reason that a pond got a pick.
I thought it was funny that a lot of people pointed to that play as evidence that IU was cheating because Will Stein, after the game, said that specific play, that quick out, I think it was to Malik Benson, was the play that Oregon's been using all year. Problem is, Dante Moore stared him down the entire time, and the receiver ran a really bad route. Instead of going up and then out, he kind of drifted. And D'Angelo Pons is smart enough to recognize that, especially if the quarterback is looking his way the whole time. But it's kind of funny, the continuum that we've gone on this year, people not being able to accept how good IU football is. It's gone from they haven't played anybody good, they're frauds because they barely beat Penn State. Ohio State, I don't know what the excuse was for that one, but the final form is that they're cheating. I think that's the best compliment you can get.
I forget what it was versus Ohio State, but I know what you're referring to. Somebody made a whole timeline of it.
It was borderline schizophrenia. I think it was J. Bud Davis, who is a self-proclaimed CFB analytics guy. If anything, a guy who has that understanding of data should be able to explain how good IU is better than anybody else. But instead, he just resorts to the easiest answer, not because it's the most accurate, but because it requires the least critical thinking.
I think what my favorite thing is so far, I know I was talking about the keys, but I'm just going to go to the defense as a whole. After the first game last season, what was the first game last season? I don't even remember.
Florida International.
FIU.
Sure, the FIU game.
Rocky Beers at tight end.
The defense wasn't perfect, but after that game, it sparked something in me that I was like, this defense, this is different. There's something different about it. I followed it all last year, and seeing it come to fruition 2 years later, the entire country and all these film guys on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, former players, guys that are just on social media, realize how good this defense is. I'm like, where have you been for the last, I don't know, it's 52 times 2, 104?
29 games.
29 games, 104 weeks.
28 games, sorry, 28.
However many games it's been in 104 weeks. The defense, it's just hilarious that it's taken so long to notice because the scheme is just, you could argue perfect. It's damn near. Obviously, look at the tape. Look at the production that it's caused. It's so mind-boggling to me at how good the defense is. Everything is it's so gap sound. It's technique perfect. Even the DBs that could get their eyes in the backfield while playing such a tight zone coverage that D'Angelo Ponce was able to make that play. Granted, the speed out that receiver ran wasn't perfect. The ball just came in so late, but it's such a shock, and it's so impressive to me to watch the defense in and out every week do the same thing and cause the same issues, and it's the same result every week. I would almost call them robots.
Yeah, well,
The HoosierNetwork.com.
Yeah,
robots.
I asked Aiden Fisher at Peach Bowl Media Day how this team is so good at not thinking about past successes. I mean, they're just coming off the Rose Bowl, off a Big Ten championship game, and it's like, nope, this is just the next game. We're playing in the Peach Bowl. It's not the Peach Bowl. It's the same as like Kennesaw State, whatever. Aiden Fisher said they were just robots, and I asked D'Angelo Ponce. He said the same thing. I asked Pat Coogan. He said that is true. And ESPN did a hit on it, which was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. But yeah, this team is. And also with this defense, it's built towards this roster. This would not work with without the athleticism and the speed and the quickness that this defense has. Somebody in this room knows a little bit about size on the defensive line in the front seven, and that is not Mike Shanahan. It is one Nick Rodecap. And it is to Indiana's benefit. They're quicker. They're more nimble. I mean, I'm sure you saw the Mikhail Kamara video of him just absolutely destroying this Oregon right tackle or left. I don't know if it was a right or left tackle.
Do they have better hip, knee, and ankle mobility than most
ankle
players?
Mobility.
Motion is lotion. Thank you, Derek Owens.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was from pre-Maryland or something.
Yeah. But no, this defensive line is quick. I watched some film and breakdowns last night of just how intricate these things are and how quick they develop these things. It's fascinating. And then when you have a linebacker core like you have with Fisher, Hardy, Jones, which is one of the best in the country, if not the best, makes it easy. Then you have your secondary of D'Angelo Ponce, underrated Jamari Sharp, who does not get enough respect. I mean, Devin Boykin, Lewis Moore. You can go on and on and on.
No Amari Farrell love?
Amari Farrell. And then you can go on and on and on.
No,
he was
re-signed safety in college football.
Back.
He was included in the on and on and on.
Okay.
The more you look into this defense, the more difficult it is to find holes in it. And for a lot of teams that make it this far, there's one guy or one position group that you feel like we can exploit and, attack. But I don't know if there is one for Indiana, honestly. I mean, Miami's O-line is huge. We know that.
Thanks, Nick.
But is it too big in that it won't be nimble enough to match up with this Indiana front seven?
I don't think that would be specifically an issue that they're not nimble enough.
I don't think you can get there.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get this far.
Right, without your O-line being able to block almost anybody in the country.
That's true.
Carson Beck just doesn't take sacks.
Miami's offensive line has not seen a defense like this, though.
Don't tell their fans that.
With the simulated pressures and everything.
Don't tell their fans
they
that.
did, well, I will give them props. They did see Texas A&M, which is one of the best defenses in the country, and they do have a very unique defense in their style of play, the schematics. Now, is it Brian Haynes' defense? No, but it's still, there's a lot of similarities, and they blocked it the problem with that one is Tech, it still ended up with, or not Tech, A&M, they still ended up giving a lot of one-on-ones to Miami's O-linemen, which if they get paws onto the defensive lineman, that guy's out of the play. He's not getting anywhere. He's not getting home to Carson Beck. And that was the problem with that is I don't think their scheme created enough confusion because Carson Beck is still so experienced and can still call pressures and knows how to call out the pressures, and knows how to set his O-line, where to set the blocking. He's only taken, I want to say it's 11 sacks on the year, which is what, won a game, not even?
17
Is it
for Carson Beck. Which is still, I mean,
that's still won a game. That's not terrible.
They played 15 games.
Right. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
You'll take that every day of the week. And I'm sure there's some multi-sacks and some no-sack games in there.
For Miami?
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking it up.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They had 4. They gave up 4 against Ole Miss.
There you go. There's a multi-sack there.
And Ohio State, they gave up 2. So 6 in the past 2 playoff games.
Not bad. It could be worse.
Could be.
It could be a lot worse.
Those are 2 very good defensive fronts.
Right. And the other thing, too, is with Miami's O-line in their pass sets, there seems to always be a lane for Beck to run in. Every single play, that's the biggest thing I notice, is that there's always an escape route, and it's straight up the middle. It's either between the guard and the tackle, or it's between the guard and the center, which there's not really any other holes, but there's always a gigantic hole you could drive an F-250 through. You're past F-150 at that point. It's impressive, and do I think that'll happen on Monday? A few times at least. Indiana's not going to win every rep. It's just not feasible. You can't win 100% of the reps as much as you want to. Will they win reps? Sure. It's going to be a back-and-forth battle. It's going to be the most fun battle to watch all night. And in a very, very advanced take, the trenches are going to matter.
Mind-blowing.
Who'd have thunk?
Absolutely mind-blowing.
Who'd have thunk?
Well,
That's
should we turn to our football expert sitting in for thoughts?
I think that's full agreement.
I think I concur.
Yeah.
I concur with whatever Mike just said.
Thank you, Mike Shanahan.
Much obliged, Mike. See, we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
It's almost like we have the same glasses or something. I don't know. Something to ponder.
D'Angelo Ponder. Diego Ponder.
Diego Pounds.
That is a real person.
Yeah. Ole Miss. I think he's the left tackle. Shout out.
Learn something new every day.
That is an awesome left tackle name.
Diego Pounds.
It's almost as good as DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
That's a great one,
That's
too.
one of the best O-line names I've ever seen in my life.
DeBrickashaw.
Diego Pounds is, here, let's pull up the bio.
That's a
6 foot
350?
6'6", 340 pounds from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Come on up
Lot
to
of
Bloomington,
pounds.
young man.
I believe he's in the transfer portal.
He's a senior.
Diego Pounds.
It's a large human.
Come
Anyways,
on
back
up
to
to
our
Bloomington.
point. Yeah, the trenches are going to matter. Who'd have thunk? What's new?
We talk about that in the passing game, but not really as much in the run game.
Well, I was going to get to that point. You want to take that point?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, well, either one. We both know ball here. All 3 of us know ball. Even Mike Shanahan
That's
knows
4.
ball.
Thank
It's
you,
all
Mike.
4 of us. We can count to 4 here. That's a lot of numbers,
Hey,
especially for sports media students.
Yeah.
Which, we'll go to the run game here because you could argue the rushing attack for Miami is more dangerous with Mr. Fletcher being back, 5.4 yards per carry. He's got nearly 1,100 yards in the season, 10 touchdowns. He had, I want to say it was $130 against Ole Miss. You've got the game pulled up.
133 on 22 carries.
I know
he
numbers.
Is really good.
He's been outstanding. He averaged, does that say 6 a carry? I thought it was 5.
6 on the game.
6 or 7 yards per carry.
So, yeah, he averaged 6 a carry versus Ole Miss. That's an SEC defense.
Ethical hoops.
They're not soft down there, I'll tell you that much. SEC football might be getting beat up a lot, but they'll play hard-nosed defense.
He averaged 4.7 yards per carry against Ohio State.
Which is insane.
Ohio State.
That's...
Yeah, like I said, the Miami rushing attack is, I would argue and say almost per factual, is more dangerous than their passing attack as much as, and as talented as it is.
Both are very top-heavy.
As in the depth falls off really quickly?
Yes. Mark Fletcher Jr. is a tremendous running back. And he gets the stats because he's a tremendous running back, but also because he gets a lot of volume. Charmar Brown is all right. He scored a touchdown against Ole Miss, 54 yards on 14 carries. But Mark Fletcher Jr. will get the heavy majority of the snap share. And those were the only two backs to play for Miami against Ole Miss. In the passing game, I mean, Malachi Toney's Malachi Toney. I feel like most people that watch college football this year to any extent know Malachi Toney. He's just a shifty guy he's a true freshman, super young.
He's going to get the rock.
He will get the rock.
Nearly 100 receptions, right under 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns in the season.
Keelan Marion is also there, the number 2 guy. More of a longer threat, averages 13.2 per catch. But C.J. Daniels is all right, but after that, they don't use their tight ends much. They don't use their other wideouts.
I would argue
C.J.
Daniels is very good, but, carry on.
Yeah. Well, C.J. Daniels
the stats don't show up. The kid's open a lot.
He's been up and down.
Waffle House.
Yeah, not Waffle House open. More like Jimmy John's open.
Freaky fast.
Freaky fast.
That's Malachi Toney.
We went to Jimmy John's in Evansville.
We did.
Yes.
It was a good stop.
It was good.
But yeah, don't expect a lot of stuff from the Miami tight ends, which, speaking of, Indiana has an inside agent as well in Brock Schott, who just committed there from Miami and knows the entire playbook. So that's an interesting thing to consider. I thought about that last night.
Is this going to be... Didn't that happen with Snoop Huntley this year in the NFL, right?
Yes.
There was a team that signed him because they were about to play the Ravens or something, right?
The Browns had him.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he went back to Baltimore.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't think the Browns won that game.
Yeah.
Weird.
Because it's the Browns.
Weird.
Brock Schott was a freshman at Miami, a tight end, and committed to Indiana in the portal last week. And now he's committed, he's signed, and he knows the entire Miami playbook. So,
originally from Fort Wayne Leo High School.
Elio?
Oh, no.
So I don't know.
No.
I highly doubt that Sig is talking to him because he's got bigger things to worry about. But
Like his Chipotle order. Rice, beans, chicken, guac.
lame.
It's lame, but it gets the job done.
It's not like it's that bad of a dish.
How do you ignore all the free stuff and only elect for the expensive stuff?
Because he just
Sorry,
signed a...
this goes against my playbook. I'm sorry.
He just signed an 8-year contract extension. He can swing the guac. He's got the money.
I was going to say, I don't think he's worried. What is it, 50 cents? I don't think
This
he's worried
go
about
no.
it.
Chipotle guac is
50
more than
cents
50
in 2010, maybe. Yeah.
I don't buy the guac, dog. I'm
Why?
broke.
There we go.
I'm broke.
2008. Why was I in kindergarten learning basic arithmetic instead of investing in real estate?
Plaskoff, you know what I can do this week?
What was
If he
I-
goes on a
What was I
tangent.
doing?
I can do this.
Uh-oh.
You want to keep talking about 2008?
Mike Shanahan. No.
Hey,
I can take Mike's.
They're both
Disaster.
muted.
Disaster. No.
Oh.
He just decapped Mike Shanahan.
He's been recapped.
But in
And so has Nick's mic.
We're off the rails.
If I yell loud enough, then I can keep talking. No, but Kurt Signetti, very simple Chipotle order, which, given his personality, I guess, isn't surprising.
Yeah, tracks.
Not surprising at all. But that is a whole new can of worms, isn't it? Teams that recruit guys out of the portal and then end up playing that player's old team in the postseason. Are there any rules?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Just because it's the NCAA and
Yes,
there are no
the
rules.
portal
of
is the portal is very awkward.
the
which
whole
is something-
calendar
oh,
is
no.
broken.
Yes.
Like IU fans are going to say, oh no, cry me a river, right? But I feel kind of bad that Oregon's assistant, as like OC and DC, both had to juggle building a new program and game planning for the freaking playoff semifinal at the same time. That's broken.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Dan Lanning was right. Move the start for the entire season up a week. You can keep the 2 byes. And then you can play, instead of having these awkward layoffs, you can play games every single week and have the national championship on New Year's Day, and then the portal opens on January 2nd, and you're done.
The national championship would be on Peach Bowl Day
I did
if you
the...
move it up a week.
You move... Okay, so... But then you... Okay, so no...
Hold on here. You know what?
got
I
it.
propose an idea.
I got it.
We'll do this next week when we actually have a show about the portal and you can do the math.
Bottom line is the system is broken, and Indiana may have benefited from that because Will Stein pulled up when Oregon arrived, and it looked like he hadn't slept in 2 months.
Right.
That's not normal. This is
Right.
not a healthy,
It's
sustainable system.
No.
And
But again,
there needs to be a fix.
we will reconvene on this topic in about a week, maybe literally a week. Depends on if we can figure out our schedules. Because shout out to new semester, and no one knows what their schedule is right now because everyone's dropping classes, including me.
I did that one
Yeah.
yesterday.
But back to the actual present issue of Miami's off. The Miami preview that we were in the middle of. I don't know what exactly we were talking about. I think the run game. Were we still in the run game?
Top heavy.
Yes, the lack of depth
skill
on the
players.
offense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lack of depth solely because the receiver room is so great. But yeah, the running back it's heavily a lot of Fletcher. But Miami fans were claiming and clamoring that their running back room is deep. I haven't seen it. He was out for a few weeks. I didn't go back and watch those games.
It can be, but they choose for it not to be.
Right.
Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right. The one thing is, though, Cristobal does weirdly go away from the run game. He did it against Ole Miss, too. At the end of the game, even though it was working so well, he kind of did go away from the run game for a little while. It was really weird. Obviously, it didn't matter. They still won the game and scored 30, but I did see some folks that were saying it was a bit of luck involved that Trinidad Chambliss did not end up taking Ole Miss to the promised land during that game because they ran out of time, which is something I want to talk about with this Miami offense, is that they will keep the ball. They do not want to give you the ball back, which another shocking revelation in the game of football. But they do successfully keep the ball. They kept it for 40 minutes against Ole Miss. They kept it for 35. It was 35 or 40 against Ohio State. They will, and that's hence them running the football so much. It's why they keep the ball and they end up winning games. It's a huge thing. Indiana's going to have to get stops. Ohio State was able to get a few stops. If you go look at the drive chart, it's like 8 straight punts and or turnovers before somebody goes and scores, and it was Miami on an 83-yard drive, I want to say, which was heavily fed by the run game because they were chipping away.
Part of the reason why Miami had the ball for so long against Ole Miss was a beginning of the drive 73-yard touchdown run from Kejuan Lacey. And other than that, Ole Miss had a couple other big plays. Miami did not, the runs they had 51 carries. Longest was 19 yards.
But it's not that explosive of an offense.
Passing game, 23 catches. There was a 52 in there and a 36, but other than that, nothing longer than 15. They will just dink and dunk all the way down the field, and Carson Beck loves screen passes, loves yards. This is a big one. Yards after the catch for Miami. There was a great piece from Bite Size Bison on Twitter. Miami gets, I think it was 60% of its passing yards after the catch or something like that. And Carson Beck throws the most screens of any quarterback in the country. So, and Indiana is one of the best defenses in preventing yards after the catch. So that's an interesting one. If Indiana can meet Miami at the point of attack or not, we'll see.
Indiana's defensive schemes and ideology and just being fundamental in securing tackles, apart from versus Bama, where a pond was trying to kill somebody. That is the thing.
Don't want to hit.
Yeah, right. That is the thing. Miami's offense, it's quick. It's a lot of quick hitters. It's kind of like Indiana last year. It's a lot of quick hitters. The occasional throw it deep, which I assume the 50-yard, I don't remember what the 50-yard bomb was for Miami last week, but I'd assume it was a streak or a post route. I don't know exactly.
Advertisement.
Yeah,
oh,
we'll
man.
figure it out in a second. But yeah, it's very similar to Indiana's offense last year, where it was purely pound the rock, RPOs, quick hitters, maybe get 10 to 15 get anywhere from 7 to 15 on a pass play, which obviously that's a very successful play if you're getting 7 to 15 yards. That's not to discredit anything. We're now watching the highlight play from last
Carson
week.
Beck was flushed, set his feet,
But again,
and there was
post route wide open down the field.
Yeah, nobody in the vicinity.
It's
of
very
Keelan.
similar to Indiana's offense last year. From what I've seen, I'm not saying that is absolute, but from what I've seen, that's what it feels like. They want to keep the ball. They want to do things and still be efficient. Carson Beck is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in football right now in the college football verse. A lot of his throws are quick. He's accurate. Now, the beginning of the Ole Miss game, he missed a few throws here and there. There were some gimmies that he should have had that should have led to some longer drives that stalled him instead. But Miami's offense, it's interesting. It's efficient. That's the biggest thing. It's efficient, and they keep the ball for a while. So it's gonna rely on Indiana's mentality of being fundamental and getting the stops, which they're obviously very successful at. So it could be a very slow day for the Miami offense, regardless of how well their very large and sizable offensive line blocks.
Carson Beck, I mean, he's known to throw some bad interceptions, but he's got 11 on the year, and the there are 3 games where he's had multiple. So it's not like he'll make one consistently. It's when he has a bad day, he has a really bad day. He had 4 picks against Louisville. He had 2.
4?
Yeah.
Ooh.
4 picks against Louisville, 2 picks against SMU. Those were both Miami's losses. 2 against South Florida, and then 1 against Florida and 1 against Pitt. And those were the 11. Oh, no, there was 1 against Ole Miss too, but it was tipped. But yeah.
Mike Badgerov appearance.
Oh, another Mike has entered the
Oh, no.
area.
We have Mike squared.
Ooh,
Mike, you have any comments on the other Mike? Doesn't sound like it.
still a man of few words.
Yeah, can't blame him. He's keeping all the secrets in-house, which thankfully Ava is getting Miami's secrets from the database still to this very moment.
Very thorough.
You
Very
have to
thorough.
be.
Yeah.
You have to be. But yeah, Miami's offense, it could go really one of 2 ways. It's either they're going to move the ball and keep the ball, or it's going to get stuffed, which, flip a coin and see what happens, right?
Logically, that would make sense. Yes.
Yeah, it's A or B. There's 2 options. It's true or false. What I think will happen, I think Indiana's going to be fundamental. I think they're going to stuff the Hard Rock. They're going to pack it. They're going to stop Miami's offense.
Oh, we are going to pack the rock at the Rock. A different
I was waiting
rock.
for the
fake
light bulb.
rock.
The
Oh,
light
yeah.
bulb was going to go off.
The fancy
Yeah.
rock. Oh, we will pack the rock at the Hard Rock. Yes.
in Miami.
It's going to be a weird weekend. I am very out of place in Miami.
Are you just out of place everywhere that's not Indiana?
Anywhere that's a big city that's not in the Midwest.
Okay.
Miami
How many
fits
times has
both
he said
Miami-
he's out of place somewhere? I
Miami
think this
in
is the 5th
particular.
time.
Miami in particular, that is anti-Ian Plaskoff world. I do not fit. Now, the suburbs, sure. Throw me in like a Boca or like a
Boca Raton.
Fort Lauderdale, but the heart of Miami, no.
No.
Well, there's still part of Miami that we haven't talked about, not the city, the defense. The very aggressive defense that my immediate comp to watching them was the Texans defense, where it's line folks up and I dare you to beat us because we're just better and we're more physical, which has worked, I would say, so far in the year.
Yeah.
The safe way to put it. Miami's defense has kept them in plenty of games, the SMU game, the Louisville game for a while. There's only so much you can do with 4 picks. It's a 4-2-5 defense. Like I said, they're very aggressive. There is some ball players on that defense, specifically the 2 edges. You've probably heard of them. But the one thing is about, honestly, the entire Miami team is it's susceptible to mistakes. The offense had, I want to say it was 100 yards, not the offense. The entire team had about 100 yards in penalties versus Ole Miss. They have missed assignments. They've allowed some broken plays, as any college football team does, except for Kurt Cignetti's robots, it seems like. So that will be the thing, is for Indiana, as they've done all years, to capitalize on the mistakes. Now, Miami's defense, they will stay fresh. They have constant rotations. They allow 14 points per game, 47 sacks on the year, and they allow less than 300 yards per game. Doing that so far through 15 games is nothing short of impressive. And they're top 10 in the country in all those stats, including number 1 in sacks. So it'll be an interesting matchup to watch the Indiana offense versus this Miami defense, because it's very, very similar to Ohio State's, where the fact it's physical and it's talented.
Miami's secondary is significantly worse than Ohio State's, I would think. And also, they're missing one of their best DBs from a second half targeting in the Ole Miss game, so he'll miss the first half.
And they've also dealt with some injuries here and there. The guys haven't consistently played together really at all year, from what it sounds like and from what I've seen.
Let's also remember that in 2 playoff games, Fernando Mendoza has thrown 8 touchdowns and 5 incompletions.
That is the thing. Indiana's offense has been nothing short of a juggernaut. I don't know what their yards per carry have been so far throughout those 2 games. I imagine it's over 5, or at least close to.
It's all because of that guy.
Hey, Mike. What do you think what's your offensive schematics going to be against Miami? Yeah.
Tight-lipped.
Also, the other Mike is just standing there watching us, and now he's gone because I stared at him. We got so many mics in this building.
A lot of mics.
But yeah, the Miami defense, it's I don't know what you guys said you've been watching tape. What have you seen from their defense apart from the corners are worse than Ohio State?
Their edge rushers are terrifying.
Yeah.
Ruben Bain he's so quick off the ball.
Yes.
He's like a step ahead. It's weird. It's like me in like Madden when I try to time up the snap. The only difference is I'm not offside by like 2 seconds.
Or just Myles Garrett.
Yeah. No, he's so quick. He's so twitchy. I wouldn't want to be either Khalil Benson or Carter Smith.
He is indeed a pro-level defensive end. That is not an understatement. He will be a top 10 pick undoubtedly.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, they're just going to try and run through your face and tackle you in the backfield. Now, on the interior of the defensive line, you can make a little room there, maybe find some running lanes, but like they have given up big plays. Keywan Lacey went for 73, and it's there. But those edge rushers are tough. But Indiana's plays tend to be somewhat quick developing, so we'll see. Sometimes you just got to lob it up to your receivers and hope they make the better play, and typically they have with Indiana.
Did Charlie Becker do that last week?
Yeah.
It was over Brandon Finney, by the way, freshman All-American.
One of the best corners in the country, I would argue.
Correct.
I couldn't believe he did that. Watching Charlie Becker go up for that ball was nuts, especially over Finney, who's like, 6'2"? He's not short by any stretch.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that Becker is 6'4". But I want to ask you too before we get out of here is what is the biggest key? Don't be sick and give me 15 keys. What is the biggest key for Indiana on Monday night?
I think it all starts up front. If they can not get stuck behind the sticks, getting sacked by the edge rushers, and if they are able to stay in front, put themselves in a good position on not long down situations, I think that'll help. And I think it's going to stem from running the ball a whole bunch to start the game.
Yeah, trust what's gotten you here. Run-pass ratio for IU is probably about 2-1 this season, and that's what worked against Oregon. Fernando Mendoza isn't going to sling the ball 35 times, but he doesn't have to. He's going to be efficient, assuming, you just treat this like any other game, and they're so process-oriented, I think they will. Obviously, run first, and then if you get on your heels a little bit, Mendoza's going to beat you over the top, and that's what's made them so successful this year. So just stick with what's been working. There's no reason to switch anything.
Yeah, it feels like that's something that's been preached for the last, 15 weeks or something like that. Indiana's averaged about 4.5 a carry over these last 2 games. So they've been more than impressive in the rushing department against some of the top defenses in the country, like Oregon and Alabama's defense, which has been susceptible to getting scored on, i.e. the Rose Bowl, where they let up 38. I will go with the biggest key is going to be getting home to Carson Beck or making him make bad decisions, which probably not a controversial take at all. He's susceptible to him. Obviously, Ian highlighted it a little earlier. Indiana's just got to get home, and I think they're going to, with Brian Haynes and company dialing up some stunts that Beck has probably never seen, cannot see coming, instead of just rushing straight for at him like Ohio State tried to do, and the occasional stunt here and there on third down. Which brings us to our competition, which isn't exactly the national championship, but it could be a postseason championship. This was going to be awkward because Ava wasn't here.
We also didn't do one for the Peach Bowl.
We didn't. There was only a Rose Bowl. And then we predicted the bracket. We could count that, I guess.
We'd have to go look at that in retrospective because I don't remember any of it.
Well, I can tell you the scoring update because I did go back and look at that.
Oh, I wonder why he wants to do that.
Because I'm in the lead. Duh.
That's a hypothetical or a rhetorical question.
I'm in first.
The only possible
First
reason.
with 4 points. Yeah. No, I just had to say it. I had to make
That
sure.
means
I had to make sure
because
you're aware.
Since Ava's not here, Nick and I are tied for second. We're on the podium, silver medal.
Hey, I'll take it.
Hold on. Yeah, we'll make the adjustment. We won't even do the update because Ava's not here. We'll skip it. Just I'm in first. That's all that matters.
All right.
Shout out. What do you guys got for your score for the national championship?
Why doesn't
for
the
Indiana
leader
Hoosiers?
go first?
You want me to go first? I'll go first.
Set
Sure.
the tone.
Yeah.
I'll set the tone. I'm going to go Indiana. I'm going to go 34-10.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think this one's entirely close. I think they get home to Beck. I think it's a rough game for Miami fans. I get it's the Natty. I don't think it matters.
I will go with an Indiana win to finish off the greatest story in sports history, potentially, in a 31-20 win over Miami.
Should we ask Mike or should we ask Nick? What do you think?
I'll go. The MO for both of these first 2 games is that IU's offense has exploded more than expected, I think. The defense has more than held up their end of the bargain. I don't see any reason that's going to change, even if this is a Miami home game. Give me Indiana 42-17.
Whoa. 42?
Look, man, I've made so many incorrect predictions this year. I might as well go out.
Yeah,
with a
he
bang.
said UCLA would win.
I did, and I own that. Hey, they were hot, and IU was due for a letdown.
Yeah.
They've been
Didn't
due
happen.
for 15 weeks, according to baseball fans.
Yeah. But yeah, 42-17, Indiana over Miami. I think.
Hey, you're entitled to your own opinion. Welcome to Pack the Rock.
Yeah. I'm not a football coach.
Get perturbed.
You know who isn't? Or it isn't. You know who is? Mike Shanahan. What do you think Mike's prediction is?
1,000,000-0.
Wow. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be accurate. 1,000,000 points in the national championship, just for the culture. And that'll do it for Pack the Rock Podcast this week. For the national championship edition of Pack the Rock Podcast, who'd have thunk we'd be here? Thank you all for joining us this week on Pack the Rock. I'm your host, William Stewart. Next to me, is Ian Plaskoff, and across from us is Nick Rodecap and Mike Shanahan. Make sure to follow along with all of us for all of your Indiana football updates, and Ava Wegenke as well, even though she could not be here. Make sure to follow along with her for any updates on Indiana football. Make sure to follow along with the Hoosier Network for all your Indiana athletics needs. We will see you all next week.